My name is Doug Parker, host of the Cruise Radio podcast, and today we're going to do a walkthrough of Norwegian Joy. Before we get to the ship, if you like this video and you'd like to see more content, subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. All right, so on to Norwegian Joy. She was built in 2017 for the Chinese market, and then in 2019, she was refurbished and remodeled for the Western market, where she is now based in the U.S. She's 167,725 gross registered tons, carries 3,804 people, and 1,094 feet long. Now, as far as staterooms, there's 89 haven rooms, 89 concierge level rooms, 260 mini suites, 1,024 balcony suites, 111 ocean view cabins, and 330 inside rooms. Okay, so we're going to start this tour on deck number 6 all the way forward. That's going to be Q BBQ. Now, on the other Norwegian cruise ships, this space is a little bit different. It's the same on Norwegian Bliss, but this is where the Illusionarium is if you're on Norwegian Getaway and so on. This is Q BBQ, though, on Norwegian Joy, actually in Norwegian Bliss as well. Smoked Texas barbecue favorites with a live band playing in here on the stage. If you don't want to hear music with your barbecue, you may want to consider getting a before 9 o'clock dinner reservation. This is a la carte, and they're open for lunch and dinner. Leaving here, you have the card room and the library, just a place to chill out and play board games, grab a book, or even take a book out and go up to the observation lounge to just sit back and chill out there. There are 2 banks of elevators on Norwegian Joy. There's a forward bank, or I guess it's like forward to midship bank, and then aft. And then you have a staircase at 6, 7, and 8 that connect those 3 levels right there in the middle of the ship. So leaving the library in the Q BBQ area, you come up to an open area of this ship. This is for guest relations, inshore excursion, and your future cruise desk here. Also seating for the big screen that kind of hangs on the wall. If you look up one level, the local sports bar and grill, that's going to overlook you right there. Another great space right here just to relax, to kick back, to read a book. A lot of little nooks and crannies here. Also a Starbucks in this area as well, right next to the atrium bar. Walking aft, you'll come to 6, 7, 8. That's what Norwegian Cruise Line calls it. Lots of bars, dining, and entertainment on all 3 levels, so 6, 7, and 8. Walking through this space, the space for the social, which is the comedy club. And then across the hall is the teppanyaki restaurant. That's an a la carte, Japanese steakhouse, like a Benihana or such. And then you'll find Malting's Whiskey Bar just across from the teppanyaki area. There are 3 main dining rooms on Norwegian Joy, the same as pretty much a lot of the newer Norwegian cruise ships. So Mix is the bar between 2 of the main dining rooms. So Mix is kind of the place where when you're waiting for your reservation, you can sit here and grab a drink. Even though Norwegian is known for their freestyle dining, you can book these in advance, but you have limited options. Basically, you can book early or late. However, all 3 of these main dining rooms, they do serve the same menu. Taste and savor look a lot alike. And then the third one, the Manhattan room, we'll get to in just a couple of moments. That's the third option, which is more like a supper club. When I first saw this space on the very back of deck 6, I'm like, wow, what a kind of a weird, unused space. But then I remembered during the sailing, they were taking photos here. So you could take and pose on the couch here if you want to get one of those glamorous shots, or, a shot with your significant other. You can do that right here. Going up to deck number 7 is the third main dining room, the Manhattan room. This is a more like an old school supper club, anytime dining in here. Same rules go as taste and savor, where suggestion or where reservations are suggested, but not required. And you have your typical main dining room food in here, and the service was really spot on during my sailing. Actually, one thing I did notice is that the servers were using an iPad to take your order, which I guess is slowly starting to become the norm across different cruise lines and cruise ships, but it seems like it's a lot more efficient doing it that way. And it also seemed to give us quicker service. Walking out of the Manhattan dining room, you'll come through the aft elevator bank. There's going to be 8 aft elevators here, 4 on each side. Then you walk through the Joy Casino. Now, immediately to your right, when you enter the Joy Casino, you're going to have the Skyline Bar. This is a bar that's just your typical casino bar. We have LED backdrops here of I assume is going to be the city you're sailing to or sailing out of. There was still Chinese cities on the backdrop in the Skyline Bar during my sailing, but I was on the first boat from China, so I mean, they might not have just tweaked that yet. But anyway, the Skyline Bar is really nice. Big selection of casino games in here, some tables. Now, the casino itself This is a non-smoking area. There is a smoking part of the casino, so you kind of go through some sliding glass doors, go into the smoking area where, there's tables and there's machines to play in there. Also a high rollers club in here as well, so if you want to throw down some big cash, throw your chips down, you can go into the high rollers club. Not really sure what considers you a high roller. If you know, drop me a comment below because I'm curious what that threshold is to be part of the high rollers club. Another thing I noticed in the casino is they had food in here. So during the morning, they had juice and coffee and danishes and different snacks throughout the day. I imagine that's just to keep people closer to the slot machines. Heading out of the casino and through 6, 7, and 8, you'll walk through the local bar and grill, which if you're familiar with other NCL ships, this spot could be named O'Sheehan's, which was after their former CEO. This place is open 24/7, complimentary snacks, salads, sandwiches, desserts. Their Reuben was spot on. Also opposite of the local dining part, there's an arcade connect to locals, also a sports bar. And this overlooks Deck 6, so you have that big screen on the wall, and you could peer down to see what people are doing down on Deck 6 as well, or even eat along the railing if you'd like to. Walking forward, the Joy Theater is located on the very forward part of deck number 7. But just before you enter the theater, though, there is the box office. Here you can arrange show tickets and events here. And don't forget, you can also arrange them on those touchscreen boards around the ship or by calling the box office. They do have set box office hours, so you'll want to check the times and see what time they are open every day. But in here, they do have a show called Elements, kind of an acrobatics type-ish show. Also, the Broadway show Footloose is held in here as well. That's about a 90-minute show, and it seems solid. I'm going to be honest, full disclosure, I only stayed for about 20 to 30 minutes of the show. I just can't sit through these shows past 30 minutes, but everyone who was in there said they really enjoyed it. Up to deck number 8 forward is where you'll find the District Brew House. That's going to be on the port side of the ship. A lot of beers on draft here and bottled. Not a lot of varieties of liquor, but there are some in here. Again, more of a brew house and just beer here. Piano Man plays at night in here. Gets kind of rocking. Opposite of the District Brew House is the Food Republic. This is going to be a la carte menu. Food from various cultures here, fusion type food. You can order off the tablets in here, and there are different selections of small plate items to choose from. This venue, of course, a la carte, and reservations here are suggested. The popular Waterfront is also located on deck 8, outside venues that really connect you with the water. So, aside from the dining options like Cagney's, Le Bistro, La Cucina, all the different specialty restaurants that you can dine inside or outside, you can also go to one of the bars. So if there's a mojito bar on the inside, they'll have bar service on the outside as well. And a great way to walk almost the whole ship. So you can actually start going on the outside of, let's just say, the District Brew House, go all the way down on deck number 8, around to the back of the ship, then all the way back up the other side. So can't quite do the whole ship on deck number 8, but you could probably do a good 80% of the ship on the outside promenade. Also, the cigar bar, the Humidor Cigar Lounge, also located off the waterfront. La Cucina, Cellars, and Ocean Blue are all midship on deck number 8. Also, various shopping outlets and the Cavern Club. That's where the Beatles tribute band plays. Actually, on our sailing, John Lennon's sister was on the ship and kind of commissioned the Cavern Club, which was kind of cool to see, being someone who grew up in the same house as John Lennon. So that was a really neat experience. But a lot of public space in here, a lot of seating, and a nice-sized bar. Opposite of the Cavern Club is the Sugarcane Mojito Bar. All the way aft, you'll find the A-List Bar, named after the CEO, Andy Stewart. The A-List Bar separates both Cagney's on one side and Le Bistro, which is a French restaurant, on the other side. Now, both of these restaurants go back pretty deep, so you can pretty much have an ocean view if you request one at the stand. You can also overlook the Manhattan room from up here, the Manhattan dining room that we talked about a few moments ago. That's located on deck number 7. And of course, we're on deck number 8 right now aft. And I probably should add that both Le Bistro and Cagney's are specialty restaurants, and reservations, as like every other place, not always required, but suggested if you don't want to be waitlisted. Also, I'll let you in on a little secret on deck number 8 aft, all the way to the back of the ship. A great quiet spot if you just want to escape human interaction. And there's a glass floor back here where you can look down. So you're 8 decks up, so pretty much looking 80 feet down into the ocean. Also a good place to watch the sunrise or sunset, obviously depending on what direction the ship is going in. Decks number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14 are all staterooms. And just an FYI, the public decks start on deck number 5 on Norwegian Joy. That's also where the Splash Academy is located, which is part of the kids program. The medical center is located on deck 13. Up to deck number 15 we go. There's 75% staterooms up here, with the exception of the observation lounge, which is all the way forward. This area, I will say, this is one of my favorite spots on the whole ship. Killer views up here, drinks, coffees. They even have a Starbucks up here. A lot of snacks throughout the day, so you can have breakfast up here, or you can have lunch, and not full-blown meals up here, but pastries and some hot meals, soups, etc., just to kind of get you in that frame of mind when you're sitting here in Glacier Bay or wherever the ship is sailing to in Alaska and watching the mountain ranges go by or the glaciers. This space right here, I would say, makes sailing to Alaska without a balcony almost possible. Deck number 16 is the Garden Cafe. This is the buffet area. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner served in here, complimentary. So the seating isn't the best at peak times inside here, but once you go outside by the pool, there are just rows of tables out there as well. But if you're trying to find a seat for a peak time during breakfast or lunch, not really sure about dinner because I never ate up here during dinner, but it was a little tough. We actually found someone we knew and kind of bunked up with them for the meal because we could not find a spot. Going on the outside of the cafe, though, there are 2 different pools in the main deck, also a lot of open space. So a couple things to note here about the pool space. The pool was built for the Asian market, this whole pool space. So it was more of a garden area with AstroTurf at the time. And to be fair, this ship will spend most of its time in chilly markets like Alaska or Canada, New England, where the pools won't really be used that much. So the amount of pool time could be limited on, where this ship is sailing to. But this deck here has 2 pools, 2 hot tubs. Also, the surf bar is located out here. Also a splash area for the kids. For poolside entertainment, they do have a band shell, which is located mid-deck right by the pools. Deck number 16 is also home to the aqua park. So there's 2 different slides the aqua park has on it. The first one is a double loop slide that goes off over the side of the ship in a clear tube and then ends you kind of perpendicular to the railing, which I haven't tried that yet. I have some space and claustrophobic issues, so haven't, not yet. I'll just say that. And then the other one is kind of an aqua racer slide that's an enclosed tube with a couple of twists and turns. Both of those are located on deck number 16. The Mandara Spa and Beauty Salon are both located just after the pool on the same deck. Nice size showers in the men's locker room, by the way. So guys, or I'm sure ladies too, because it's probably the same locker room. If someone is showering and you want to come up here to kind of save some time, plenty of shower space up here. And, your spa has your typical menu of services. You have your hot rock massages, your typical couple massages, also pedicures, manicures, get your hair cut, look all pretty for your photos, do it all up here. Just make sure you make that appointment well enough in advance because it did seem to be pretty tight on my sailing. Located on the very back of deck number 16 is the video arcade, also the Entourage Teen Club, and most importantly, the Galaxy Pavilion. That's all the VR machines, so you could actually jump into a Jeep like you're going through Jurassic Park. Not really called Jurassic Park, but same kind of concept, where you put these goggles on your head and it looks like these dinosaurs are coming after you. You could do drone wars where you're flying a drone and trying to shoot the other person. Kill zombies, that's one of them. They probably have about 10 different VR type machines in here. This does cost money though. It's going to be $29.95 for a 90-minute session, and you'll get a wristband when you walk in. That $29.95 price is as of May 2019, and obviously things can change, but that is the current price of the Galaxy Pavilion for a 90-minute session. Deck number 15, 17, and 18 are home to those Haven cabins. The Haven cabins, little secret here, located on deck number 15, are a little bit cheaper because, so the Haven area is located on the very forward part of the ship, but on deck 15, those Haven cabins are located on the aft end, so you do have to walk, and because of that, and because you're not located right there where the pool is and the restaurant and the bar, they do kind of reduce the price of those cabins by just a smidge. The Haven, of course, is their ship within a ship concept, exclusive dining, your own pool, butler service, concierge, and priority use of the elevators on embarkation and debarkation. Some people think that because of the Haven, the cruise line is going towards a class system. you be the judge of that. I think if you want to pay for those amenities, you're more than welcome to. And if you don't want to be around a ton of people, hey, pay the Haven price and enjoy your stay up there. They also offer the concierge class on this ship, so not quite the Haven, but a step above, and you're basically paying for access to certain amenities if you're booking a concierge class cabin. Deck number 17 aft is home of the American Diner. This is where Margaritaville was on the other NCL ships. This is a 4-fee venue, so everything is a la carte, but you have food options like lobster rolls and sliders, salads, burgers, typical diner-type food. There is a replica Mustang right in the middle, kind of hugging two different booths, so that's kind of a cool photo up there. Also an old school gas pump right in the middle of the diner. This space right here, they're going to have to add more heaters because on our sailing, it was about a 50-degree day in Vancouver, and if you're not sitting right in the middle of the diner, kind of on the outskirts or by the windows, it's going to be a little cooler. So wear something warm if you're dining in this place when sailing in Alaska. Otherwise, great venue, great service, and solid food options. The Pulse Fitness Center is just opposite of the American Diner. They have a variety of workout equipment in here, mostly treadmills, but some free weights and a decent-sized area where you can throw a mat down and do your daily traveling CrossFit workout or whatever workout you want to do on the mat. And attached to the fitness center is a cycle room where they offer spin classes throughout the sailing. On the very back of deck number 17 is where you'll find Spice H2O. This is a free adults-only space, kind of comparable to like Serenity on Carnival Cruise Line. A big pool here on your port side and a bar on your starboard side. And a lot of shade, actually a lot more shade back here in this Spice H2O than on the other Norwegian cruise ships. This open-air space will also be the home of the nighttime, the hot white parties and the glow parties with a DJ space back here. Just a multi-purpose, so both day and nighttime use of Spice H2O. Deck number 17, around the pool, there's a jogging track and great views of that big screen that overlooks the pool deck. The jogging track, interesting because there are loungers just to the other side of it. So, and a lot of people walk on the jogging track. They just have no concept of where they are, or they just have no self-awareness. So they're just walking on your track when you're like, move, get out the way. Up to deck number 18 we go, though. This is probably the most talked about space of the ship, the go-kart track. The go-karts are electric. You need to make reservations here and adhere to all the rules when it comes to the track. The track does span 2 decks with a lot of tight curves, so passing is almost impossible, and you're not supposed to bump people, but if you're trying to pass someone, it's almost impossible not to bump them on this track. It also makes me wonder, because this ship technically did come out first in 2017, if they learned from this ship and made the track a little bit more wider on Norwegian Bliss, which was the second ship, because the tracks just seem a little too hairpin for a bunch of amateurs out there trying to spin around on the track. But it was still fun, and you could buy a day pass here, a one-time pass, or a week-long pass. The pricing, I'm just going to say it's very fluid. What I do know is that last July, it was $10 for a single ride, which is 8 laps around the track, and it was like $30 for an unlimited pass, and then $100 for a weekly pass on the track for unlimited. But again, check the prices, because that was as of last July, and sometimes they jack that price up a little bit. You know how the cruise lines do us. On the second level of the track is where you'll find the mini golf course. Also great views of the go-kart track from up here. So kind of a spectator space. This is the place to stand if someone you know is riding the go-karts and you want to get some good shots of them. Deck 19 forward is the Vibe Beach Club. This is a capacity-controlled space, meaning they only sell a certain amount of Vibe passes per week, and you have to get them right when you get on the ship, because it's really popular. A little expensive, too. In fact, north of $99 per person. And last but not least is the laser tag area. This spot is so much fun. There are 2 different teams, blue and red, and you get 10 minutes just to destroy the other team. There's a big digital board, so it shows you the score. When you get shot, you have to go back to your recharging station and hit the button for 5 seconds, I think, and it recharges you. Then you can go back in there and try to get shot. I recommend, 2 things. Wearing a hoodie up here, because it does get really chilly. You're on deck number 20, I believe, the very top of the ship, and it is open air and outside space. Secondly, I would say play this at nighttime, because as I just said, it's open air, where during the daytime, you could see everybody, And it is still fun because you can hide behind the rocks and crawl around, but at nighttime, you have a harder time seeing the other person. You're looking for lights instead of a body, and it just makes it a little more challenging. So try this area at nighttime. This does come with a cost, and it is suggested that you make reservations, but some people just blow off their reservation, so the standby line is pretty easy to get in, unlike the go-kart track where the standby line is forget about it. You have to have reservations or you're going to be waiting a really, really, really long time. And the laser tag cost is $5 for a 10-minute session. And there you have it. There's our tour of Norwegian Joy. If you like this video and you'd like to see more cruise ship tours, subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. My name is Doug Parker. I'm the host of Cruise Radio and the daily Cruise Radio news briefs. You can find both of those where you listen to your favorite podcast. Just type in Cruise Radio or Cruise Radio News. So what do you think about Norwegian Joy? Have you sailed her sister ship Norwegian Bliss, or do you have an upcoming sailing on Joy? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.